Welcome to Old Folk Chopping It Up, where us old cats cut through the headlines and get to the truth behind the noise. I'm here with your other host, your hero, Mario Cole. Just chopping it up. Today's news, religion, social politics, the way 55 up and 55 down do it, and figure out what the rest of the world can't. Old folk style. Today,
Right,
we're talking about one of the most shocking political events of the year, the assassination of renowned conservative activist, evangelical white Christian nationalist, a hate cult, leading white supremacist, misogynist, racist, xenophobic Charlie Kirk, who got assassinated on September 10th. Kirk's death has dominated national news for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and some outlets have called it a tragedy for free speech. Others, such as legacy media, have avoided mentioning his history of inflammatory remarks about race, gender, and immigration, which the black community has not forgotten. But here's the question we're asking today. Why is the media trying to sanitize his legacy, and how minority communities, us, who bore the brunt of his rhetoric, restoring or not restoring, responding to his, we'll call it tragic death. So, first, let's set the scene. On September 10th, Charlie Kirk was on stage speaking to a packed audience at Utah State Valley. And when gunfire broke out, chaos erupted. Kirk was fatally wounded, and the shooter was apprehended by campus security, though questions remain about motive, planning, and whether this was politically driven or personal, or was he personally targeted. So it stunned the whole world, the whole political world. Conservatives immediately labeled it attack on free speech, Mario.
right.
And the conservative movement, liberals, condemned the violence, but were quick to stress violence is not the answer. But what happened in that auditorium, Mario, was more than a single act of violence. It became the spark for a national re-examination of Charlie Kirk's legacy. Now we know how the media is trying to spin it, sanitize it, make him look decent, but it's just complicating, his death for us in the black community. And I saw today, man, that in Oklahoma, excuse me, in Oklahoma, they're going to make all the high schools adopt a turning point curriculum for all their high school seniors. So Mario, what do you think about all of this? All of this hoopla about his death, and we know what he meant to us, but why does he seem to mean so much to them? Even developing a curriculum to celebrate his life and his values. My thing, Mario, is the fact that all it's gonna do is create a bunch of little rednecks and little hateful, little hate-filled, religious acting white folk to inculcate into society, which makes society even worse. But what's your thoughts on that, Mario?
Well, you remember we had a talk before all this happened, and I told you there was going to be, with the way this situation, the administration was going, that it was going to be anarchy. And I even mentioned some probably attempted assassinations. Remember, I told you that before this had even happened. So when it did happen, like you said, violence is we don't condone that, and probably the reason why we don't and shouldn't condone it because it happens to us more than it happens to them in the political sphere, especially in the political sphere. But then as black men in situations where we weren't even armed, so for us as a community, I mean, we're used to this, you know. And as far as them uplifting him and making them a martyr or whatever. It just lends itself to the great hypocrisy of America. But Oklahoma is one of the same ones that wanted to spend all this money on the Trump Bibles and put them into the schools.
Right.
So,
This guy, Ryan Walters is his name.
mhm,
He's the one that passed the bill to put all the Trump Bibles in the public school system of Oklahoma.
naturally. So I'm pretty sure that he's probably had his hand somehow in this. And it's all about them really, man, bending the knee to Trump and just living this whole delusional hypocrisy of them losing the country, of us trying to take everything from them when they own everything. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The only thing that we as a people do more so than anybody else is spend money.
Right.
Now, if we ever got
We're the
organized,
biggest consumers in the country.
absolutely. Now, if
We
we
are a
ever got
consumer
organized,
economy.
right, and I think maybe their only fear could be that we get organized and then stop spending money in order to gain power. So, but that is, that's here or there. But other than that, man, it's just a great delusion. This is the great delusion. I saw where they were talking about Trump was talking about Europeans uh, being like coming over to this country like on vacation and everything, and insulting them when all the colonizers came from Europe. Do you see the
Okay, let's not
hypocrisy
go
in it?
there. Let's stay on this particular subject, man.
Well, yeah, it
Let
still
me
lends
ask you
itself
this,
to
Mario.
hypocrisy, man.
Let's talk about what's happening in reaction in the black communities. Civil rights leaders have condemned the assassination, and nobody is celebrating violence, but they've also been clear. Kirk was no friend to Black America, female America, Hispanic America. He was no friend of patriots, black patriots, white patriots, any kind of patriots that there is, and
Mhm.
his platform consistently downplayed racial injustice and often blaming black communities for systemic problems. And one activist put it bluntly: the same media that ignored our pain while he was alive is now ignoring our truth in his death. And similar sort of comments from the Latino community. He's known for inflammatory statements and immigrate about immigration and painting Latino immigrants as threats rather than contributors. And community organizations have expressed concern that coverage of his death risk erasing the harm his words did to immigrant Americans. Broader than that, Asian American, LGBTQ, women of color. The theme is consistent. Acknowledging his death should not mean absolving his record, Mario. He's dead. He did what he did. He said what he said. And let me ask you this in closing this segment. Do you think that we should help sanitize his bad reputation at the expense of telling our own truth about the damage he did to us as minorities, soon to be majorities in America, Mario?
Absolutely not, because he wasn't the innovator. He was just a communicator. This was
There
already
you go.
information and mindsets that were already out there. He just was a sounding board.
That's right. Well, let's go to something else, man. This big ugly bill that was passed in Congress, of course, you're very well aware. Being a veteran and retired law enforcement. Let me ask you this: the whole country is shut down. Not only is it divided, but it's shut down completely. So many people in federal workers are not receiving their pay on time, if at all. So many are not receiving pay, like essentials, like TSA, and all of those air traffic controllers who are forced to work, military families who are suffering, waiting on their paycheck.
Hmm.
And, how do you feel, man? I mean, but here's my big thing, really talking to old people. The whole idea is to get rid of Medicare, Medicaid, and the Obamacare or the ACA, because we know that, for instance, in Tennessee, where we are, if they got rid of Obamacare, about I don't know how many million people would lose, not only not be able to afford it in Tennessee, in Louisiana, I know of their premiums will quadruple. Of course, a family making about 80 grand a year can't afford that, and they won't be able to afford it.
Right.
But Mario, us old people ought to be tremendously concerned due to the fact that many of us, most of us, depend on those Social Security checks not only to be there but to be on time. And
Absolutely.
with them cutting the various departments that are affected by all of this, how do you think it is that us as old people should speak up? And that's what this show is all about: speaking up, speaking out. Whoever can, say what you have to say.
Right.
Open your mouths. Let's all shout together or shout separately, but let's all shout. What do you think us as older people, retired older people, can do to have a voice to make sure that we don't lose up and children are fed and schools remain open and fire departments are paid and police departments and federal workers of all sorts, because it trickles down, Mario. What can we do to stand up against it? I'm sorry for such a long introduction.
That's fine. Hey, I'm here, man. No, I'm here,
No,
and
I'm just saying,
I'm on the Zoom
what's
right now. Okay,
what can we
man.
do?
I think that that we have to organize. You know what I mean? If there's some place we need to be in order to make our voices known, then we should be a part of that. And then the crazy thing is that 70%, 77% of the Affordable Act Care recipients are in red states. So I mean, it's crazy the way that they're doing this thing without any regard of their own people,
Right,
you know. And
right,
so we just need to organize and make our voices heard. And
right.
just with Social Security, man, I've been working since I was 15. I'm 66 and a half now. Ain't nobody
So has
gave me nothing.
well.
Every hour, every hour that, you know what I'm saying? That money goes to every hour that I done put in here, working sometime two jobs. And you know, back in the day, man, when
Me
we
too.
first started out, them jobs wasn't easy. If you was working in a factory, brother, you was working in a factory with no computers
Yeah,
and none of that stuff. You was grabbing stuff with your hands and putting it over there all day long. So we're not asking everything that we've gotten, we've earned. Even the ability to have our insurance discounted, we put into this system. Every hour we went to work, we put into the system. Nobody's giving us nothing. To me, it's a tragedy that the individuals who understand this can sit in their offices or wherever they're at because they're getting paid and try to demean us.
well, Mario, we have a bigger voice than we know as older people, and
Absolutely.
we need more and more old people to come in and exchange our dialogue. When we finish this little run through today, to give them an idea of what we'll be talking about and how it is we speak.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, you, will you? I guess you'll eventually put up a contact information, like
Oh,
which
absolutely.
YouTube channel to join and Facebook and those kind of things, to
Yeah.
let them know when we'll start on Monday.
Hmm. Yeah. You know, like you
Okay.
said, we wanted to, get kind of used to the logistics and see how everything rolls or whatever. And they ain't do nothing but build from here, man.
Well, and with that, I'm just going to say we need an audience. We need for you to not only listen, participate, like, and share, and hopefully one day subscribe. But this is for you, older people. If you're sitting at home, retired, like me and Mario, and if you don't have a job or a clock to punch every day, like me and Mario, And you want to talk. You want to talk to people who think like you, vote like you, worship like you, praise like you, dance like you, whatever it is like
And
you.
been out in the street like you,
And see,
old hustlers and
because we
old,
old school. We're no, we're straight old school. I'm a pastor, you know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm a retired pastor. Mario used to knock heads in his area of expertise, and
yeah.
it's
And I've
just such
talked to
a
a lot of
blessing to
brothers
be
that have been that had done prison time for 20, 25 years. Young kids coming in and old heads has been on there for like 35 years, man. And
here. I
a
can
lot
dig
of
it,
them
man.
just want to get out and have a regular life, and some of them don't even have that opportunity. So
I can dig
there's
it.
a lot
Well,
going
we just
on.
letting them know. We letting them know the top, some of the top. We're going to talk about everything. It is
I
going to
know,
be
yeah,
modern.
definitely.
So with that, we're gonna stop our little test. Give us feedback. Let us know how we flowed. Give us feedback. Help us get better. But by all means, call in. This is a live
Oh yeah, we're
podcast.
gonna have a chat room.
Oh,
We're gonna have it all set up, man. We're gonna have it all set up.
okay. All right. Well, cool. Well, all right. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Let us know you saw us. Let us know you feel us. Okay. God
And
bless. And we'll see you soon.
and we ain't scared.
We ain't scared.
Stop recording. Let me go back.